In today's video, I'm going to share with you the process and tools that I use to clean large vehicles faster. All those large trucks, SUVs, vans, and RVs. Now we're going to cover both generic items as well as more specific items that are meant for larger vehicles. I'm going to have everything linked down in the description for you guys, as well as step-by-step for the process. So here we go. Now to start off, you can just use your garden hose, but having access to a pressure washer will make things much, much easier. But I'll cover tools for both options, right? So if you do just have your garden hose, you're not looking to spend a ton of money and build out your whole equipment setup, then you'll have options for that as well. But because a pressure washer is extremely beneficial, that's going to be item number one. Now again, whether you're using the pressure washer or your garden hose, spot-free water will make everything so much easier for you. And that comes in the form of a deionized system. Now those get very, very expensive, and again, you don't absolutely need it, but basically your water will have total dissolved solids, basically little minerals in the water that when the water finally evaporates away, it can leave hard water deposits on your paint. And this can actually cause some serious issues. I've actually seen years ago an Aston Martin DB9, very, very nice car. It had water spots from being parked next to a sprinkler. It sat there on a hot day and it baked into the paint, and that vehicle had to be color sanded to get that out. So sometimes they can kind of penetrate through the clear coat and really cause some long-term damage. So you want to try and mitigate that as much as possible. So I do recommend at least get a TDS meter. Again, I'll have that linked in the description. Certain areas of the country, the water's not bad at all, but for me here in Southern California, I average about 350 parts per million, which will definitely cause water spots. So all you have to do is fill up a bucket of water, put the TDS meter in there, and it'll kind of give you an idea of where your water is. Again, even if it is really high, you could still get the job done without getting water spots, so don't worry about that. We'll talk about that in the process. But having deionized water is, if you can afford it and if you have the setup available to you, it's a game changer. So again, if you don't have access to spot-free water, just make sure to use proper wash technique, right? Wash your vehicle out of direct sunlight. Make sure the surface of the paintwork is cool to the touch. That'll give you a longer working time so that you don't get those water spots. Okay, so now moving on past the water setup, and that's gonna bring me to items number 2 and number 3, and that's going to be a pre-wash soap as well as a foam cannon. Now, the foam cannon does pair with the pressure washer, but there are garden hose specific ones that you can use. They don't get nearly as much foam, but you will still be able to get a nice coating of the pre-wash soap onto the surface, which will definitely help. Now, what do I mean by pre-wash soap? I'm going to be using active foam in this case, and basically what that is a higher pH level car wash soap. It has surfactants in it. It helps to lay the product down onto the surface of the vehicle. The higher pH soap, along with the surfactants, are going to help break down the contamination and dirt that is on the surface of the vehicle, allowing it to lift it up into the bubbles, and then it's easier to wash it away. Now, because we're working on a larger vehicle, you want your chemical or your soap or whatever to do a lot of the work for you, and this is gonna be a great option to do that. There's a bunch of brands that make pre-wash soaps, so use the one you like. I just really like Active Foam from Kokemi. Personally, it smells fantastic. And again, using a pre-wash like this where you foam it on dry, this is the process, you foam it onto the vehicle dry. Again, make sure the surface is cool. Foam it on, let it dwell for 3 to 5 minutes. You just want to make sure you don't let it dry onto the surface, and then rinse it away. Now, if you are using a pressure washer, using an extension onto your gun makes a huge difference because you're able to reach the higher areas as well as across the wide areas of a vehicle. So you don't have to constantly be working your way around, doing half of it, going to the other side, doing half of it. This, you can actually reach across and get it all done. Now again, with the garden hose situation, there's options for that as well. I'll have a few of those linked down in the description for you. Again, I still prefer the pressure washer, but if you're on a budget or you don't want to pull out your pressure washer, this will get the job done as well. Now, along with that extension for your pressure washer or for your garden hose, now we're going to go in for our contact wash, and this is a very key part, is an extension for your wash media. And this is my favorite one. This is the Mitt on a Stick from Auto Fiber. This is the Mitt on the Stick Pro. Fantastic tool. It comes with, there's a couple different options. I think there's 4 different options you can get for the head. This is the blue noodle finger one, but they have really plush heads as well, and it works fantastic. The whole cool thing about this is that this pole that comes in 3 sections, has a slight degree, I think it's an 8-degree bend, I can't remember exactly, but it helps to keep the pressure down on the vehicle surface so you get more work done. But this, because this pole actually screws into itself, it feels as though it's not 3 pieces. It feels as though it's one. There you go, you can see it actually connects in like that. It's phenomenal. There's not a extension that I've used like this that feels as solid as this thing does. The head of the unit is adjustable as well, and it does come with a nice thick foam backing here. It's just Velcros on, so you can pop that off, and then you have that piece as well. Now this thing's not cheap, but it is definitely worth the money. So for an alternative, Maxshine just came out with an option, and theirs comes with the whole kit. So theirs is like this. Smaller head, again, very, very similar to the head on here, just without the foam backing. So if you look at them here, right, very, very similar heads. And instead of being 3 pieces, this one's just a simple clip and extend it out. Now the reach isn't quite as far, I don't think. I'll have to check the dimensions of it, but it didn't seem as far when I was going across the window of the vehicle. This one didn't reach all the way versus the mitt on a stick for me did, and it may just be because that thing's so stout and rigid. I can't remember exactly the dimensions of these. Now, I will mention the head on this thing does not feel as robust, the actual mechanism, the plastic piece here, as the mitt on the stick. So keep that in mind. And when I first got this comes right off, but this little push button extension, I had to manipulate it a little bit and pull up because it was just sliding off on me, but now it's perfect and good to go. So if you're a mobile detailer, this may be a great option because you can just do a quick little slide like that, and it's nice and compact. You can toss it in your vehicle. However, for me, the mitt on the stick is still my choice. That's where I would go, and I would just separate the pole as needed, and if I don't have enough room in my vehicle. Now, one thing that I really do like about the Maxshine option is it does come with a few different heads right with the kit, but additionally, you can just order the heads as well, and they have a lot of options. They've got these nice plush ones. They've got a scrubbing sponge for the Incredistick. They call this the Incredistick, by the way. Basic microfiber, and then this one was my favorite, and this is the one I was using in today's video. This is just one of those scrub pads that you can use for like removing bugs off the front grille of your vehicle. Now, I personally don't like using these on paint, but man, did it work wonders on the glass, right? You always get bugs and things like that even when you wash it, sometimes you have to go in and scrub those afterwards. Well, this, I just put it on there, went across, and it did a phenomenal job. After I rinsed the vehicle down, the glass was clean. I just did my normal treatment after that, but I didn't have to scrub anything. So I really like this. And this actually, guys, just so you know, on the mitt on a stick, if I can find the extensions for it. The closure on the head is a button closure, so it stays on nice and secure. It's also a larger pocket, which makes it fit over this nice foam pad. That foam pad is going to reduce any chance of the head of the thing poking through the material and causing any sort of damage if you bang into it. So I love this thing, but this one, again, is awesome, and these are just Velcro closures, and it has enough padding in this, I think. I mean, it'll probably break down over time, but it just slides right over the head, and it will fit on, it's going to be hard because there's Velcro backing on this, but it will fit on this as well. As you can see, remember, they're the same size, so it will fit on there, no problem. So if you do have the mitt on a stick already, I would recommend picking up some of these guys from Maxshine. I'll link this down in the description for you as well. You can use code I'mJoshV15 on Maxshine's website, and it'll get you 15% off. Now, an important thing when you're using that extension pole for your wash media is, you know, under normal circumstances, if you're taking a wash mitt, you would dip it back into your bucket. You can agitate, release all that dirt. You don't want to reintroduce that dirt back onto the surface. Now, personally for me, if it's a normal car, I'm either just using multiple towels or multiple wash pads, so I don't have to continually clean them. But in the case with one of these extension poles, you do, right? So these are two options that you can have. They just slide right in your bucket. I really, really like this one because it's all one unit, which is really cool. But then you also have this one here. This is from GritGuard, and this one is the base, and then you get the extension that comes up the side as well. So both options are gonna work fantastic well for a tool like that. You're able to put it in the bucket, get everything separated, and you'll be good to go. Okay, back to process really quickly. Again, we started off foaming the vehicle on dry, letting it dwell, rinsing it off. And then I actually did foam the vehicle again and then go in for my contact wash. Now my bucket has soap in it, And then we also have more soap on the surface already from the foam, so tons of lubrication for the contact wash. Now after that contact wash, we need to rinse the vehicle down again, and now all we have to do is dry it. And my favorite type of drying towel by far is the twist loop drying towel. I have one right here, and basically what it is the little pieces of microfiber are standing up and they're twisted, so you get a full 360 of absorption on each of these little strands, and they work phenomenally well. Now for large vehicles, my favorite is the Mega Knot from Auto Fiber. It's phenomenal, it's huge. You definitely don't need to go that route, but for me, nothing makes the job faster and easier than that thing, because I can droop the whole towel across the entire hood. One pull, it's dry. Go across the glass. Pull, it's dry. Go across the roof. Same thing, one pass and it's dry. And then I can simply just hold one section up on the higher panel of the vehicle, use the lower section to dry everything else, and it makes the job so much faster and easier. Additionally, you can also use a blower of some type to evacuate the water off of the panel quickly so that you're not gonna have to worry about water spots, and then follow up with this if you want to. The blower also works really well to blow out all the tight spots so that you don't get any drips afterwards. And then lastly, you can also dry off your tires so that you can apply your dressing, because when you apply tire dressing, you want to go onto a nice dry tire. So it works for that as well. So that's the process and tools that I use to get the job done quickly, guys. Now, obviously you can go into much more depth after the initial wash, but that is the basic terms on how to quickly and effectively clean your vehicle, especially your large vehicle, right? Your RVs, your SUVs, large trucks, and all that kind of good stuff. So I hope that video helps you guys. Thanks again for watching. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we will see you on the next one.